It's one of pop culture's longest-lasting mysteries. Who killed Tupac Shakur? The cold case is attracting new attention after a raid this summer. Impact by Nightline takes a closer look at the investigation, and Tupac's legacy as one of the most prolific and legendary rappers in hip-hop history.
Tupac Shakur was one of the most influential rappers of all time, and his sudden death in 1996 shocked the world. But what if the story didn't end there? Over the years, fans have claimed they've spotted Tupac alive in photos, videos, and even in unexpected places around the globe. From blurry street footage to strange concert appearances, these sightings have kept one of music's biggest mysteries alive. Join us in this video as we explore 10 times Tupac was allegedly caught on camera after his reported death. Number 10. Cuba's parking lot mystery. Our first stop takes us to the bright, colorful streets of Cuba, where one of the most famous pieces of Tupac conspiracy footage first made waves. This short, low-quality video supposedly shows Tupac standing in a parking lot, talking casually with a small group of men and even signing autographs for people nearby. The clip is extremely grainy, filmed on what looks like an early 2000s camera that struggles to capture clear details. The camera moves across several faces before landing on one man who looks a lot like Tupac Shakur. He has a similar body build, sharp cheekbones, and a goatee, all features that helped define Tupac's look in the mid-1990s. At one moment, the man glances directly at the camera and says phrases like, "Holler back," a line many fans connect to Tupac's familiar street slang and the way he spoke in interviews and on tracks. For believers, that tiny moment feels huge. But why Cuba? That question is a big part of the theory. Some people believe this sighting supports the idea that Tupac secretly left the United States and went to Cuba to be near his aunt, Assata Shakur. Assata, a former Black Panther activist, escaped from prison in 1979 and later received political asylum in Cuba. She has lived there for decades. To conspiracy fans, Cuba seems like the perfect place for someone famous and politically outspoken to disappear and stay protected. The timing of the video also adds fuel to the story. The footage started getting serious attention not long after Treach from Naughty by Nature mentioned in a 2010 interview that he had seen Tupac in Cuba. Once that comment spread, the old clip resurfaced and quickly exploded online. Suddenly, people everywhere were analyzing every frame, comparing facial features, and debating what they believed. Supporters say the man's energy, face shape, and even his voice sound close to Tupac. Some fans have even claimed voice comparisons show similarities. Skeptics, however, point out major problems. Tupac had many visible tattoos, including the famous Thug Life tattoo across his stomach, and none can clearly be seen in the video. Because the footage is so blurry, it is easy to hide important details. Critics argue it could simply be a look-alike or misleading footage that keeps the legend alive. In the end, the Cuba video remains one of those clips that depends on what you already believe. To some, it is chilling proof. To others, it is just another blurry mystery that keeps Tupac's name alive decades after his death around the world. So where else was Tupac? Or should we say his look-alike spotted? Keep watching to find out. Number 9. The NBA game that shocked viewers. In 2014, during what should have been just another regular season NBA game between the Boston Celtics and the Golden State Warriors, something appeared on live television that sent conspiracy theorists into a frenzy. This was not some shaky fan video or low-quality clip from the internet. The footage came straight from professional broadcast cameras, handled by experienced camera operators. That detail alone gave the moment a level of credibility many other Tupac sightings simply do not have. As usual, during breaks in the action, the broadcast cameras started panning across the crowd. This is standard for televised games. Producers like to show excited fans, funny reactions, and sometimes celebrities sitting courtside. Most of the time, these crowd shots are nothing more than fun background moments. But on this night, one quick zoom-in changed everything. The camera settled on a man sitting among regular fans in the stands. Almost immediately, people watching at home and in the arena noticed something unusual. The man looked a lot like Tupac Shakur. The resemblance was strong enough that you could actually hear a reaction ripple through the crowd in the background audio. There were surprised shouts, scattered cheers, and the kind of noise people make when they think they have spotted someone famous. The man appeared to be an older version of Tupac, which lines up with how the rapper might look if he had lived quietly for nearly 2 decades after 1996. His facial structure, cheekbones, and overall presence matched the image many fans have in their heads of an aging Tupac. Even the calm way he sat and looked toward the court added to the mystery for believers. What makes this sighting especially interesting is where it happened. This was not a rumor from a distant country or a blurry clip filmed in secret. This was a major sporting event in a packed arena, broadcast live across the United States. The man was not hiding in a dark corner. He was out in the open, sitting in normal seats like any other basketball fan. To conspiracy supporters, that kind of bold appearance suggests either incredible confidence or a decision to quietly test how people might react. Some argue that Boston would actually make sense as a place for Tupac to visit if he were alive. The city has a strong cultural scene, top medical facilities, and is far removed from the West Coast rap conflicts that once surrounded him. It is also known as a place where people often respect personal space, which could allow someone well-known to blend in more easily than expected. The NBA setting adds another layer. Tupac was known to love basketball, so attending a game would be a normal activity for him if he were living a low-key life. After this reported appearance in Boston, the story goes that his trail did not go quiet. It just moved somewhere even more unexpected down south. But before we get down south, Tupac was once again sighted in Cuba. Could it have really been him? Stay tuned to find out. Number 8. Laughing with Suge in the shadows. Again in Cuba, the mystery deepens with another piece of footage that has sparked millions of views and endless debate across the internet. This time, a YouTube video claims to show Tupac casually hanging out and joking around with Suge Knight. According to the upload, the clip was filmed during a music video shoot in 2004, when Knight was supposedly in Cuba handling business. The video quality is rough and blurry, and most of what viewers see is the back of a man's head and part of his side profile while he talks with Knight. Even with such limited visuals, fans quickly locked in on the man's body language. He laughs, moves his hands, and leans in while speaking in ways supporters swear look just like Tupac's familiar mannerisms. To believers, it is not just about the face. It is about the energy, the vibe, the way the person carries himself in conversation. They argue that those small details are hard to fake. Still, there is one major issue that keeps coming up. No tattoos are clearly visible in the footage. Tupac's tattoos were a huge part of his identity, especially the bold Thug Life ink across his stomach. Because the camera never gives a clear front-facing shot, skeptics believe this could easily be a stand-in or even carefully edited footage meant to stir curiosity and keep the legend alive. The Suge Knight connection makes the story even more intense. This clip started circulating widely in the mid-2010s, right around the time Knight made several cryptic comments about Tupac possibly being alive. In a well-known 2014 interview with Ice-T, Knight strongly hinted that Tupac survived the shooting. That one conversation sent conspiracy fans into overdrive, with people rethinking everything they thought they knew about that night in Las Vegas. Supporters say this Cuba footage fits perfectly with Knight's hints. Some even believe there was a staged death from the very beginning. According to that theory, Knight helped Tupac escape, possibly even arranging a secret flight out of the hospital. The idea is that Tupac wanted out of the violent East Coast versus West Coast rap war that was already turning deadly and only getting worse. Back in 2012, a YouTube video titled "Tupac is Alive, Never Seen Before" video from 2004 pulled in millions of views. The comment sections turned into full-on battlegrounds, with people from all over the world arguing, analyzing, and defending their beliefs. Supporters studied every frame, every movement, every laugh, hoping to prove their hero was still alive somewhere. Critics, however, focus on what is missing. There are no clear shots of the man's face, which raises serious doubts. In 2020, a documentary called Tupac: The Great Escape explored similar ideas but found no solid proof. Even in 2025, the clip still circulates on TikTok and Facebook, sometimes mixed with AI-generated edits. Experts in video analysis continue to say these versions are manipulated, made to go viral rather than reveal the truth. From Cuba's streets to US concerts, could Tupac appear here? Let's find out. Number 7. Spotted in the crowd at a Lil Wayne show. Jump ahead to 2009, back on American soil in Dallas, Texas. It was supposed to be just another loud, sold-out stop on Lil Wayne's hugely successful I Am Music tour. The arena was packed tight with fans, phones in the air, everyone trying to record their favorite moments while Wayne tore through his set. The energy was wild, the lights were flashing, and the whole place felt like one big moving wave of people. But according to conspiracy fans and several people who say they were there that night, something completely unexpected happened in the crowd. Something that ended up being captured on multiple phones and later spread across the internet like crazy. The clip most people reference was filmed by an unknown fan using what looks like an early smartphone. The video is shaky, dark, and messy, just like you would expect from someone filming in the middle of a packed concert. You can barely see straight, the sound is loud and distorted, and bodies are pressed together as everyone fights for a better view of the stage. Then, in the middle of all that chaos, the camera catches a man moving through the crowd. He is not jumping or dancing like everyone else. Instead, he seems focused on getting somewhere, weaving through people with his head slightly down. As he passes, a few fans near him suddenly react. You can hear voices shift from regular concert noise to sharp bursts of surprise. That reaction is what makes the video stand out. Several people can be heard yelling, "Tupac! Tupac!" with real shock and excitement in their voices. It does not sound like a joke or a chant. It sounds like people truly believe they just saw someone they never expected to see again. The person filming tries hard to keep the man in frame, moving the camera quickly as he pushes through the crowd. Now and then, the figure turns his head, giving brief side views of his face. In those quick flashes, believers say the resemblance is strong. The head shape, the goatee, and the way he carries himself, all remind them of Tupac. To them, it looks like an older version of the rapper trying not to be noticed, yet still impossible to fully hide. Skeptics, of course, see it differently. They argue that in a dark, loud concert with poor camera quality, it is easy to mistake someone for a celebrity. Add in excitement, loud music, and maybe a few drinks, and people might just be seeing what they want to see. Still, believers point to the multiple voices, the genuine shock in the crowd, and the man's overall look as reasons they think this sighting was more than just a random look-alike. A live concert sighting sparks questions. Now imagine what a photo with another celebrity can do to fans. Keep watching to find out more. Number 6. The Rihanna bar photo that fooled millions. Our next entry pulls us into the world of clear digital manipulation and old-school Photoshop tricks. Still, the fact that this image went insanely viral says a lot about how strong Tupac conspiracy theories remain and how badly people want to believe he is still out there. In 2015, a photo started spreading all over the internet that supposedly showed Tupac partying with pop superstar Rihanna inside a bar in California. In the image, Tupac appears to be standing close to Rihanna, buying drinks and talking with her like they were longtime friends catching up. The setting looks casual, warm, and social, like any normal night out. The photo spread like wildfire across Instagram, Pinterest, and pretty much every platform where people share celebrity content. For younger fans who discovered Tupac's music years after his death through streaming services and YouTube, the idea almost felt believable at first glance. Part of why the image worked emotionally is that Rihanna has openly shown love for Tupac for years. She has spoken about him in interviews and even has Thug Life tattoos as a tribute to his legacy and mindset. That real connection made the fake photo feel more personal and convincing on the surface, even though it had no factual truth behind it. People saw two figures who actually had a cultural link, and their brains filled in the rest. But once the image reached people who understood basic photo editing, the illusion fell apart quickly. It was exposed as a poorly done Photoshop job that combined two totally different pictures. One was a well-known photo of Tupac from the 1990s, and the other was a modern image of Rihanna taken many years later. When viewed closely, the problems were obvious. The lighting on Tupac did not match the lighting on Rihanna. The edges around their bodies looked rough and unnatural. The image quality between the two figures was also noticeably different. Major media outlets that have covered Rihanna's real admiration for Tupac never treated this photo as real. By 2023, especially on TikTok, where users often break down fake content, the image was widely labeled as a hoax. Still, even after being debunked again and again, the photo continues to pop up online, proving that when it comes to Tupac, some stories never really die. Keep watching to find out more times Tupac was caught on camera after his death. Number 5. The 50 Cent photo that went viral. In more recent years, social media exploded over a photo showing rapper 50 Cent posing with a man who looked shockingly like an older Tupac Shakur. Fans immediately took it as evidence that the two hip-hop legends had secretly reunited, igniting thousands of shares, comments, and debates online. The image circulated widely across Instagram, Twitter, and hip-hop forums, with some people claiming it confirmed long-standing theories that Tupac was still alive and moving among the industry's biggest names. The intrigue was only heightened by the presence of Suge Knight's son in the conversation. Some theorists interpreted his comments as cryptic hints supporting the idea that Tupac had survived his 1996 shooting. Fans dissected every angle, frame, and shadow in the photo, convinced that the facial features, posture, and even the energy of the man standing beside 50 Cent matched what an older Tupac might look like today. However, closer examination revealed a very different story. Media outlets, fact-checkers, and photo analysts quickly identified the image as either digitally manipulated or featuring a convincing Tupac look-alike. Lighting inconsistencies, mismatched shadows, and subtle editing artifacts gave away that this was not the real Tupac. Even the man's facial structure, upon careful analysis, did not fully match the late rapper's distinctive features. Despite the debunking, the photo still generated excitement and conversation for weeks, proving that the legend of Tupac Shakur continues to captivate fans decades after his death. For conspiracy theorists, it reinforced the idea that sightings, or at least the hope of them, could appear anywhere, from concerts to casual photos with other famous rappers. Even manipulated images can keep the speculation alive, reminding the world how deeply Tupac's influence and mystique remain embedded in hip-hop culture. If a celebrity photo could stir debate, how could another look-alike fool everyone, too? Stay tuned to find out. Number 4. The Bourbon Street doppelganger. Fast forward to 2009, and the mystery takes us straight to the wild, neon-lit energy of New Orleans' famous Bourbon Street. That year, a set of photos sparked one of the most mainstream debates about Tupac's possible survival that fans had seen in a long time. The images, published by TMZ, showed a man sitting inside a Bourbon Street bar who looked shockingly similar to Tupac Shakur. These were not distant, shaky pictures snapped from across the room. The photos were fairly clear and showed a man with sharp cheekbones, a goatee, and facial features that made many people wonder what Tupac might look like if he had aged quietly out of the spotlight. He looked relaxed, just another person enjoying a night out, seemingly unaware that cameras were on him. The setting was Bourbon Rock's bar, and nothing about the scene seemed staged or dramatic at first glance. TMZ, known for eye-catching headlines, quickly ran with the story under bold claims that Tupac might still be alive. They followed up with more photos, keeping the buzz going. According to their report, The DJ at the venue even announced over the mic that Tupac was in the building. That shout-out reportedly made the crowd erupt with cheers, turning an ordinary night into a moment people would talk about for years. Once the photos hit the internet, they spread fast. Hip-hop blogs, forums, and social media lit up with discussion. Fans from all backgrounds began analyzing every detail like detectives. People zoomed in on the man's face, comparing side-by-side images of Tupac from the 1990s. One detail that really stood out to believers was a mark on the man's scalp that looked similar to a known feature Tupac had, something dedicated fans immediately noticed. But as the excitement grew, reality slowly stepped in. TMZ later updated the story, suggesting the man was most likely just a very convincing lookalike. Online investigators and curious fans dug deeper and eventually identified him as a local man named William, not Tupac Shakur. Skeptics pointed out differences in ear shape, height, and other small features that did not perfectly match Tupac's known appearance. Even with those explanations, the photos never fully disappeared. Over the years, they have resurfaced again and again whenever talk about Tupac being alive starts trending. As recently as 2025, the same images made rounds on Facebook and Instagram, with users zooming in on that scalp mark and arguing in comment sections. While analysis shows the photos are real and not digitally altered, they seem to capture a remarkable doppelganger, not the rap legend himself. Bourbon Street shocked fans. But was it possible that Tupac was hiding in Europe too? Let's find out. Number 3. The Dutch music video cameo. Now we jump back to 2006 and travel across the ocean to the Netherlands, where one of the most polished pieces of supposed evidence in Tupac conspiracy history appears. This sighting does not come from shaky phone footage or random tourist clips. Instead, it comes from an official music video by a Dutch rapper known as Chillo. That detail alone makes this case stand out from many others. The video is called Amsterdam to LA, and it is filmed in a moody black and white style that gives everything a raw, underground feel. That visual style was popular in parts of the European hip-hop scene at the time. The video includes all the elements you would expect from a mid-2000s rap video. There are city streets, groups of people standing around, creative camera angles, and that gritty energy artists often try to capture to show authenticity and street credibility. But what really grabbed attention was not the main performance. It was what appeared in the background of several quick moments. In a few frames, viewers noticed a man who looks extremely similar to Tupac Shakur walking through the scene. He does not stand front and center. Instead, he moves through the edges of the shot, almost like someone trying not to draw too much attention while still being present. The figure is on screen just long enough to spark debate. His face shape, build, and overall presence made believers do double takes. To conspiracy fans, it did not look like a random extra. It looked like someone intentionally placed it where only sharp-eyed viewers would notice. That subtlety made it feel more mysterious and, to some, more believable. What pushed this theory even further was Chillo himself. In later interviews, he was asked about the rumors that Tupac appeared in his video. His answers were never clear confirmations, but they were not firm denials either. He responded with vague comments and knowing smiles that many people interpreted as hints. That careful wording kept the conversation alive and gave believers just enough to hold on to. The Netherlands also plays a big role in why this theory feels possible to some. Amsterdam is known for being open-minded and welcoming, with a long history of attracting artists, activists, and people looking for freedom or a fresh start. It also has a strong hip-hop culture and deep appreciation for American rap. In theory, it could be a place where someone famous might blend in more easily than expected. Conspiracy supporters suggest Tupac could have been quietly moving through parts of Europe, maybe even connecting with underground artists while staying out of the public eye. In that version of the story, he remains officially gone while still finding ways to be near the music world that made him legendary. Whether coincidence or clever illusion, this brief background appearance remains one of the most talked about international Tupac sightings. From Amsterdam's streets to Alabama, could Tupac be living quietly there? Keep watching to find out. Number 2. caught grooving in Montgomery. As we move further into the era of smartphones and high-quality video, our next alleged Tupac sighting takes us to Montgomery, Alabama, in 2018, 22 years after his supposed death. The setting is surprisingly ordinary. A local restaurant where families come for dinners, friends gather for casual meals, and life moves at a slower, more relaxed pace compared to the hectic cities Tupac once roamed. The footage was captured by someone's phone during what looks like a typical evening, initially seeming to record nothing more than the vibe of the place, the food, or the company. But in the background, eagle-eyed viewers spotted something that would ignite the social media pages dedicated to Tupac conspiracy theories. A hooded figure is seen moving to the music, grooving in a style that believers claim is instantly recognizable as Tupac's unique flow and body language. The way he moves, head nods, slight shoulder sways, and subtle hand gestures has convinced fans that this is not just a random person imitating a rapper. His build and posture also appear consistent with what an older Tupac might look like after years out of the spotlight. During brief moments when the figure turns toward the camera, supporters point out that the facial profile matches Tupac's distinct features: high cheekbones, the shape of the jawline, and even the way he holds his expression are cited as clues that this might actually be the legendary rapper in public again. What makes the footage even more convincing to believers is how natural and unguarded the moment seems. This isn't someone posing, performing, or drawing attention. It's just a man enjoying the music, completely unaware he's being recorded. Fans speculate that Tupac might have intentionally sought out these kinds of low-key spaces. The theory suggests that quiet, culturally rich locations like this one could offer him a sense of purpose and connection, places where he could absorb the ongoing struggles and stories of everyday people, the same themes he often addressed in his lyrics, while remaining safely out of the public eye. It's that balance of anonymity and engagement that conspiracy theorists argue would appeal to someone of Tupac's mind and experience. From the quiet, understated streets of Montgomery, the supposed trail takes another leap, this time out of the United States entirely. Conspiracy enthusiasts claim the next sighting places him in the easternmost part of Africa, continuing the story of a man who remains elusive yet seemingly present, even decades after his reported death. A quiet Alabama sighting sparks questions. But where did Tupac appear next? Let's find out. Number 1. Sightings in Somalia. In one of the more surprising international claims, a man came forward saying he had spotted Tupac Shakur alongside his late friend Yaki Gaddafi driving through the streets of Somalia. Unlike many previous sightings, there was no photo or video to back up the story, just the eyewitness account. Still, the claim quickly made its way across online forums, social media, and conspiracy theory blogs, reigniting conversations about whether Tupac could really still be alive. Fans and theorists were immediately drawn to the story. The idea that Tupac had traveled halfway across the globe, appearing in a country few would associate with him, added a new level of intrigue to the legend. Some suggested he might be seeking anonymity in remote locations far from the U.S., blending into a completely different culture while staying out of the public eye. The mention of Yaki Gaddafi, another figure associated with Tupac, who died tragically young, only intensified the speculation. For believers, the pairing made the story feel more plausible, as if Tupac were reconnecting with old allies while remaining hidden from mainstream attention. However, skeptics were quick to dismiss the claim as wishful thinking. Without photos, videos, or any corroborating evidence, the report could not be verified in any meaningful way. Experts and media outlets treated it as unsubstantiated, emphasizing that eyewitness accounts alone are rarely reliable proof, especially when dealing with someone as legendary and mythologized as Tupac. Despite this, the story fueled the ongoing debate and kept the Tupac is alive narrative alive in some corners of the internet. Even though the Somalia sighting lacks tangible proof, it highlights how far-reaching and persistent the legend has become. For fans and conspiracy theorists alike, the mere possibility of Tupac appearing anywhere in the world, whether in Africa, Europe, or America, continues to inspire discussion, analysis, and speculation decades after his reported death. So, what are your thoughts about these sightings of Tupac or his lookalikes? Let us know in the comments section below. From Cuba to Dallas, Amsterdam to Alabama, Tupac sightings continue to blur the line between legend and reality. Each photo, video, and eyewitness claim keeps fans wondering if he's truly gone or just moving in the shadows. If this countdown of alleged sightings shocked you, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Click the next video to dive into more hidden stories and mysteries the world wasn't meant to uncover.